welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Sonia. If you don't know me, please subscribe to my channel if you like high-end and luxury beauty. And you know what, let's just get started. These videos tend to be incredibly long, way longer than when I do a decluttering myself. And last time it was about an hour-long video and I was shocked by it. Today I want to focus on complexion products. I changed up my setup so you guys can see the products on my table instead of my Alex 5-drawer dresser, whatever you want to call that. The lighting was completely off in the last video, I'm well aware. At about the halfway mark I do fix the lighting, but I thought, okay, let's just do this differently. You guys see me learning doing YouTube, and some of you commented on it and we had a laugh about it, but here we are. I figured this is a better setup. Let's do complexion products. I want to start maybe with foundations. I know that this is a decluttering video or a collection video. It's more going to be a collection video because almost nothing in my collection is expired. I actually started my collection when I started my YouTube channel a year ago. Before that, I was doing minimalism and I did follow all the launches. I just wanted to have a minimalistic collection and I was doing a low buy. So I decluttered a lot before I started my channel, and yeah, that's kind of like where my collection is at. So I don't think I'm gonna declutter a lot, but maybe. Let's get started. So seeing this in a pile is already much more than I actually imagined me having. But this is my, I guess, concealer, primers, and my foundations all put together. I personally feel like this is still very much okay, but let's just get through them anyway. Let's first talk primers. I have two primers in my collection. I have a glowy primer and I have the Rare Beauty Pore Diffusing Primer. Both of these primers have, you know, a purpose on my channel because sometimes I want to have a glowy complexion and sometimes I want to kind of mattify the face, maybe minimize the pores. And yeah, I think two primers is definitely a-okay to have. I love the Auric Glow Lust. If you haven't tried this, definitely check it out. I know it's super expensive if you buy it from Europe or anywhere abroad because this is an American smaller brand, but I do feel like it's worth it. I have the shade Selenite and it's a thicker consistency than the Hollywood Flawless Filter by Charlotte Tilbury. It does work really well as a primer. You could also use it as, you know, to mixing medium with your foundations to make matte foundations look a little bit glowier. I've really been enjoying this. This definitely is something I use more in the winter months because in the summer months I feel like the consistency of this is a little thick, but I still really love it. Keeping them both. All right, let's do concealers next. As you can see, I clearly don't have many concealers in my collection. I feel like I have one more under eye corrector somewhere. Let me just try and find that one. So I have the Charlotte Tilbury under eye corrector in the shade 1. This is a beautiful under eye corrector if you're suffering from dark circles like I am. I have the shade 1 because I don't want to add too much color underneath the eyes. I just want to knock out some of that darkness, and a great peach tone can do that. I really like this under eye corrector and I like to use this when I do kind of like a full face of makeup. So it's not every day that I use this, but I definitely have a place for it in my collection. Keeping it, I think it's a great under eye corrector if you are looking for one. Then the next sort of under eye corrector moment, I don't know if I spoke about this already, but this is my Skinness's Sarah Chapman Eye Insurance. I've been loving using this as an under eye corrector. I feel like I mentioned this in my first video, but I have been kind of organizing my drawers, so I have been putting this next to my concealers. This is an awesome product if you're looking for an SPF for around the eyes. I don't feel like you need to set this product either, so if you're someone that doesn't like to use a lot of powders, I would definitely look at this one. Great. Then I have the Rose Ink Concealer. I love this concealer. I just hate that when this is completely filled up, it gets super dirty and super messy, and that's the reason why I probably wouldn't repurchase it unless they change up this component. All you need to do, dear Rose Ink, all you need to do is make this a little bit more narrow. You know, you could take some of the product off from the doe fit because when you close this up again and you twist it, usually on the sides, there is some concealer left, and I just hate that. It really dirties all of my other makeup and dirties my drawers, Other than that, great concealer, great full coverage. It's stretchy, so literally you can put it all over the face if you have like one little dollop. I've been panning this. It's almost finished, but I don't want to knock the formulation. It's a great formulation. I just don't really like messy makeup. Two others left. My favorite concealer, which is the Kosas Revealer Concealer. This is supposedly has some eye cream benefits as well, if you're into that. I currently have shade 3, which is a little bit too light for me. It kind of does that under eye brightening, so it's a great color for me, I guess, maybe in the winter time. But at the moment, I would probably use a darker color. It's literally always sold out in my area, so it's pretty hard to finally find a darker color. But concealer-wise, probably one of the best formulations. It barely creases on me unless I really pack it on, and I just really like how this applies. I've already panned one, so this is my second one, and I've really been enjoying it. The last one is the concealer that I actually do not like. This one was hyped up so much. I do really like the component that this comes into. Very easy to use, also a little bit too light for me. I have the shade 190W, so this is the Rare Beauty concealer. I don't really like this concealer. It creases on me. It also makes my under eyes look a little bit more crepey than I actually want it to be. Because it was kind of hyped, I had really high hopes for it, but unfortunately this is a disappointment for me. Since I don't review concealers too much, I do feel like I could try to project pan this. I have been liking mixing this in with the Rare Beauty blush like you see on like the TikTok trends. Actually, that trend does really work for me, and that's the only way I can use this concealer and not hate it. So maybe that's how I'm going to finish this up. I want to get my money's worth. Okay, foundations. Let's talk Chanel first, because I feel like I have the most Chanel ones. I have 3 Chanel Complexion products. I don't want to call them foundations because not all of them are marketed as foundations, and I also believe heavily that you shouldn't see it this way. I have the #1 foundation, the Fresh Water Tint, and the Fresh Water or Water Fresh Complexion Touch. I love all 3 of these, but let's get to it. I did recently make an Instagram on these 3 complexion products because I wanted to show the difference in textures. So check out my Instagram if you want to see some swatches. This is my perfect undertone. I have the shade BD31 in the Chanel #1 foundation. Love how this foundation wears. If I want to do a medium coverage, I really want to go into this one. It absolutely looks beautiful on me, and it's currently my 2022 favorite. I don't foresee a foundation to do better right now, and I'm also, as you can see, not in the market of getting new foundations. Foundation launches come all the time, but I do want to finish up some of the foundations that I have. This one ain't going anywhere. Definitely would recommend it. It is fragrance, so that's my only con. Other than that, it wears beautifully wintertime, summertime. It doesn't really matter. You can do a light layer for a light coverage, but you can build it up to a medium coverage. So I think this is one of just the most versatile and best foundations that I have. Then you have my absolute favorite complexion product. It's the Water Fresh Tint by Chanel. This is from the Le Beige collection. This is a repurchase of mine. I have the shade medium, which is my great summer color, and I just love this as an overall wash of sheer coverage. It's barely any coverage. There's 70% water in here, but honestly guys, this is just, it looks so nice on my skin. It looks a little dewy, and it just evens out my complexion a little bit. You can see I've already used up a lot already, and that's because I love it. I love reaching for this. I love it for the summertime, and this is kind of my makeup aesthetics, that kind of no makeup base. Very beautiful. Would recommend this to anyone, and it's currently in stock in the US. Then a product that is newer. This is the Complexion Touch. This should have 3 times more coverage than the Fresh Water Tint. I got mine in the shade B30 because unfortunately BD31 is not available in this product's category, but maybe in the future when they extend their range, I would definitely want to get this in BD31 as well. B30 is fine. My one but with this is that if I use too much of it, my face can pull a little bit more pink, and I'm quite yellow/golden based depending on the season. So I can only use this as a very sheer coverage, but I hear it's like 20 milliliters, so it's quite expensive because it's not like other foundations that are 30 milliliters usually. But I hear you can use this as just an overall complexion product. I have been trying to use this as a concealer and it looks great as a concealer. Another product that you don't necessarily need to set. I really like this. I really like this formulation. The only reason I don't reach for it as often is literally because the color is just, you know, the undertone is a little bit off. But great product nonetheless. I really like Chanel complexion products and I love everything that like the Le Beige range comes out with. Then let's talk Chantecaille. I have two Chantecaille products. I've also tried the skin tint, the one that comes into a tube. I've never tried the pot. I have a Chantecaille foundation. I really like cushion foundations. You know, I come from a background of Korean beauty. So before this, I was definitely into Korean beauty. And before that, I was into luxuries. My interests change all the time. Maybe one day I'll go back to K-beauty. As you can see, this is a closed one. When you buy this compact, you get a refill, and I recently put the refill in here because my first one was completely gone. I switched out, so to extend the lifespan, you can take the sponge and switch it out. But I switched out the sponge, and at some point it just was so dry, there's no product in there anymore. So I decided to just put the refill in. This has a lifespan, or what is that, a product expiry date of 8 months, which I don't think is a lot for this foundation because it costs 140 euros. I got it on a sale, but even on a sale, it's just super expensive. I have the shade Vanilla, which can lead a little bit to peach on me if I build it up, but this is also a great light to medium coverage foundation. It wears really well. The smell is very natural smelling, so you feel like there's a lot of botanicals or something in there. I do think it's a really great foundation. I probably wouldn't repurchase it just because, one, it's so expensive for how much product you get, and two, I really want to try the Future Skin, the one that comes into a pot. So I have the anti-aging face tint, which I've been testing and loving. This also is a very messy product. Personally, I never like getting products in a pot, but honestly, this is so beautiful. This product looks so beautiful on the skin. It gives you that really nice bronzy glow. To me, this is a complexion product. I know that they're advertising it as a hybrid of skincare and makeup, and I just wish that this came into a tube of some kind because I don't like tubs. Even though I don't like tubs, this impressed me so much that I wouldn't repurchase this. I would want to repurchase the foundation in a tub. So Chantecaille really walks that fine line with me of like, is it too expensive for what it is? But complexion product wise, I feel like they're really killing it. So I would definitely recommend looking into the complexion products. I personally wouldn't repurchase this, even though it's a great foundation. Unless you're really looking for a great cushion foundation, I wouldn't recommend this just because the price tag just doesn't match up with the amount of product that you get in here. So also 8 month shelf life, it's nothing. I would feel really bad if this product expired before I could use it all up just because of the price tag. Okay, let's move over to a medium to full coverage foundation. This is the Lisa Eldridge Seamless Skin Foundation. I got mine in shade 15, and there's one issue with this, and that is it's a little bit too dark for me. So I had one of those, what's it called, sample bubbles. And at the time that I sampled this was my perfect shade. But I feel like I'm only this shade, I think maybe like 1 or 2 months of the entire year. So I honestly never use this unless I feel like I'm tanned enough to use it, or I have to use it all over my neck. It looks really great, but I feel like maybe it oxidizes. I don't know what it is, but this is just never the right shade for me, and it's one of my favorite foundations if I want to get some coverage. It looks amazing. The formulation is amazing. So I am thinking about maybe rebuying this in my correct shade and decluttering this one. Or I saw that she also kind of mentioned that she is working on a tinted moisturizer. So I might want to test out or wait until I get a tinted moisturizer, because that's kind of my vibe right now. I think it's also the case that when I use this, I'm really going for a full beat, and I don't go for a full beat often anymore. I feel like that's just my preference and makeup style right now, and maybe also my age. I think I'm gonna declutter it. So I love this foundation, guys. I love this foundation. This is my 2021 favorite. I just think that I should get this in a better color. Okay, my Vital Skin Foundation Sticks by Westman Atelier. I'm gonna clean this after this declutter. I'm keeping both. This is also one of my more expensive purchases. I think one foundation is about 74 euros. I got two shades. I got the shade 3 and shade 5. And that's because Gucci Westman basically said you should get two colors if you want to mimic like the skin, because skin kind of goes into different gradients of color. And if you want to mimic this, then try to get two colors and mix them together on your face. This supposedly is a very light coverage foundation. I sometimes overuse this just because I'm so used to just dragging this all over my face. But as a light coverage, this actually looks really beautiful. I love how this wears on the skin. I also love that you can take this along with you when you go traveling. The magnet is really strong, so there's no fear of me and the magnet, you know, opening up. They're just really travel friendly. It's actually a really great stick foundation if you're looking into stick foundations. I would definitely recommend this. Westman Atelier is a brand that I feature a lot on my channel, so there's no reason for me to declutter this. I love it. I still use it, and I feature a lot of Westman Atelier. 3 foundations left. Let's look at the Rose Ink one. This supposedly was a dupe for the Water Fresh tint by Chanel. I demoed this on my channel, and this is a no-go for me. I even showed this in my 2022 disappointments. I do not like this foundation. Any oily areas, any areas that can clog up, this shows. Any dry patches, so for example, if I have a pimple and around the pimple when it's healing, sometimes you get these kind of dry flakes. It sounds really dirty, but this accentuates it. Not only is it the wrong color for me, and shade matching myself on the website was absolutely crap, but this just does not work for me. It works on so many people rave about it. I tried it in any weather condition, but this does not work for me. This is going to be a declutter. The only reason I kind of kept it around is to lighten up, for example, my medium Water Fresh tints, but I'm so close to panning that one. I might just buy it for the winter time in light medium instead of medium and declutter this one. I know that this product works for so many people, so I think I could make someone very happy with this product. Then I have 2 products left. Let's talk about the Rare Beauty Tinted Moisturizer. This is an absolutely great tinted moisturizer. I love this so much more than I expected. I might have gotten a shade a little bit too light for me, but the undertone, it works so well on me that I don't really care. I just kind of bronze up the face if it's too light for me. This wears beautifully. I love how dewy this looks in the end. And this is just totally my vibe. I also love that there's a divot in there so it doesn't roll away on my table. Yeah, this is definitely one of my more favorite products of the Rare Beauty line now. So this is the interesting one. This is my Light Wonder Foundation by Charlotte Tilbury. I'm about halfway on this. This is the oldest complexion product I have in my collection. It still works fine. I in the beginning wanted to Project Pan this, and that's why these 2 stripes are here. I actually think I want to go back to trying to Project Pan this. I did pay 40 euros for it. It's still a great light foundation or light coverage option. It's just that my other foundations are kind of better. Like at the time when I got this was my favorite complexion product, and I feel like makeup is constantly changing, and like new ones are constantly coming out with new innovations or new products or new whatever. And I feel like the other products that I just spoke about are just a bit better. So instead of decluttering this, I might want to use this for a Project Pan. This is also a great one to pan because if you sit it upright, you can actually see how much is left and you can see it going down. So not my favorite complexion product anymore. It's not a bad foundation. There's SPF in here if you're into that. And I did try the Beautiful Skin one by Charlotte Tilbury, and this one I feel wears better on me than the Beautiful Skin one. So I would recommend this one over all the other foundations that Charlotte Tilbury has in her line. I just, you know, compared to some of the other foundations that I have, not my favorite one anymore, which hurts my heart to say, but I am keeping it. Ooh. Then I have 3 Michilo foundations. I got this in PR. This is probably one of the only things I have in PR that is in my collection. I love that this brand wanted to send me this, and this is a Swedish brand, and this is a full coverage foundation. They sent me a packet of 3 so I could pick out my right color. I believe like nude beige or something is the best color option for me. I love this as a full coverage option, and I would definitely recommend this. I think I still have a discount code. If I do, I'll put it somewhere up here of this foundation. And if you are in Europe especially, I do think that they ship to America, but if you are in Europe especially, do check out this foundation if you like full coverage foundations. The only reason you don't see me wear this too often is that I'm not a full coverage foundation person. I do really feel connected to this brand because this is the first PR I've ever received. I wanna wear this more, and at the same time I'm kind of like, yeah, but you know, it's not really my vibe right now, and I don't want to have this product to go to waste. I feel like I can make someone really happy with this foundation. I would definitely still check it out if you're into soft matte foundations. It's sweat proof, oil controlling. Make sure you do shake it before you use it. And if you are in Sweden, I think this brand, I don't know if it's very known, but I definitely would want you to check it out because, you know, support your local markets. I am going to declutter this. It kind of hurts my heart because it's my first PR. But there's no point in me keeping this and then letting it all go to waste. Okay, so these are all of my complexion products: bronzers, highlighters, powders, what am I missing? Blushes, of course. I recently got this divider from IKEA, and that's why I've been reorganizing and putting it in here and seeing how much I like the style of it all. So let's just do it per category and put this to the side. Are these all the powders that I have? Let me think. I think it is. Wait, my Westman Atelier one. Okay, so let's talk powders. Let's put this to the side a little bit more and put this in the middle. I have a few powders. I'm not a huge powder person, and if I do use powders, I use powders like this one. So I don't really like to go for loose ones. I like to go for the compact one. I like having a mirror. Oh, am I blinding you? Sorry. This is my Chantecaille powder. If you don't know what this looks like in real life, ooh, this is so smooth right now, but it used to have a really beautiful engraving in it. I really like this powder. Yeah, sorry, I'm going straight into it. I really like this powder, but this powder works better on me for all over the face and not underneath the eyes. Because my under eye area is a little bit oily, I need a little bit more help underneath my eyes setting my concealer, or else it won't last me all day. It's a beautiful powder. It's very blurring. It's very finely milled, and it's just one of those Chantecaille products that I would recommend. And especially if you are drier skinned, I think that you would really like this. This finally is part of their regular line. It comes in like a very simple packaging. There's nothing more I can say about this except it's a great powder. Works for me. And I'm keeping it. It's super expensive. It's like 80 euros. Then talking about another crazy expensive powder that I've been really loving this year. This is the Westman Atelier powder in the shade Cream. Great powder as well. This one I do use underneath the eyes. It sets the makeup beautifully. Yeah, sorry. You see everything. But yeah, it sets the makeup beautifully. There's a little, what's this called? Like you can actually depot this one. It's refillable. Ugh, sorry. So it's refillable. Love the packaging, love this brand, and I'm so happy that this they came out with the powder because they were definitely missing this from their collection, and I'm happy that the powder really works for me. I am thinking about getting more shades because there's a variation of shades. There's a pink one, there's also a completely translucent one, but I've really been enjoying Cream and setting my under eyes with it and the rest of my face. Beautiful powder. I'm not getting rid of this. I feature Westman Atelier a lot on my channel. Keeping another 80 euro powder. So I have this powder. I've panned one of these already completely. So this one is completely new. This is the Boots No. 7 powder. I don't have a lot of drugstore options in my collection. But as you can see, I have two 80 euro powders, and I'm not traveling with either of the 80 euro powders. So this is a great powder that I keep on hand to, you know, for trips, for example. If this one breaks, it doesn't break my bank. I'm not going to cry over it. It's a great powder. This supposedly is a dupe for the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Finish powder, but I think that does contain talc, which is the reason why I don't often talk about this product because I know that some of you are really not into that. If you don't really mind any of that, you do want to try a powder that's just a really solid powder. This is just a really solid powder. My skin looks beautiful after using this. Definitely would recommend, and this is my travel option. So this is my second one. At the time of me buying this, I got 2 for the price of 1. That's why I have 2. But I am keeping it for travel purposes. I have one loose powder that's translucent. This is the Rare Beauty powder. I actually really like this powder, and I love that this comes with like a closure. Oop, I like messed it up. But I love this comes with a open and closed section. And this powder, although bulky, really got me into loose powders again. It's gonna take me forever to pan, but I really like that I have a pink powder, a loose powder, and it kind of just works really well for my skin type. So I'm keeping it for sure. Then I have 2, I guess, illuminating powders. I don't know if I had to call this highlighters or not, but I am putting it in the powder section. I have the Soft Sculpt Skin Perfector by Makeup by Mario, and this is a very old one in my collection. The Laura Mercier Glow powder in the shade Candlelight. Part of me is kind of like, I'm ready to declutter this. I got this from my best friend. I know these powders are super expensive, and I do get a lot of compliments on this particular powder when I wear it, but I have to wear it as a highlight. I can't use it as a powder. It makes me look like Project Tin Man all over, and I don't even think that they sell this powder anymore. It's that old. It's probably, I think this is the oldest thing in my collection. I'm not really sure. I didn't want to throw out something that like a friend of mine gave. And at the same time, I'm kind of like, I could probably make someone happy with this still. It is a powder, so personally, I'm kind of like not into looking at the expiration date on powders. I just feel like it's time for me to declutter this. I don't use it as often as I would like, and I just don't have a purpose for it anymore in my channel. Laura Mercier is not something that I review a lot right now, and I don't think that this is available anymore, so I'm gonna declutter this. Then another illuminating powder. This one is in a compact form. I've been loving this, the Soft Sculpt Collection by Makeup by Mario. I love the Skin Perfector. I got mine in the shade medium because light medium was not available anymore at the time. But this as just I guess a bronzer. So the confusing thing is I am putting this in the powder section, but it has a bronzer, a highlighter, and a setting powder. So I sometimes get confused where to put this. So I decided to just put it in here. I am keeping this, but out of the 2 Soft Sculpt that they launched, so the Enhancer and Perfector, I would definitely recommend the Enhancer over the Perfector, but there's nothing wrong with this powder. Okay, let's do bronzers next, since I just talked about this one anyway. Okay, I think I have all my bronzy products right here. I just spoke about the Perfector, so let's talk about the Enhancer by Makeup by Mario. Oh, this is absolutely stunning. This is sort of this balmy type of consistency, and just, it's so easy on the skin. I love also the undertone that this has, because you can do a really beautiful bronzing with this. Also, I don't have it that long, but look, I panned it. I've been using it so much. This is such a great product. It probably is on its way to becoming my favorite bronzing product. I know that they're calling this a skin enhancer, but to me, this is just like a cream bronzer, and that's how I use it. It looks beautiful on the skin. It's really easy to use. It's beginner friendly. The only con that I have is that I sometimes use this part as a mirror, and then I feel so dumb because I'm like, oh wait, there's no mirror in this. So this product definitely makes me feel stupid. But 100% keeping this, and yeah, I'm sort of happy to see this being panned because I have so many bronzers, and panning something, yeah, it's kind of like a feat to me. Since we're going in the cream bronzer section first, let's talk about my creams first. Another one that I absolutely love, I barely have anything left. This is so expensive. This is all I have left. This is the Westman Atelier Contour Stick in the shade Biscuit. I know that this technically isn't a bronzer, but I love to bronzer with this. Also love the undertone of this. This is also just such a great beginner product. Beautiful packaging, again with that really nice magnet, very travel friendly. Would definitely repurchase this the moment this is finished. And there's nothing I can say about this that's bad. I absolutely love this product. I love that it comes into a stick. I think the only thing that it might be a huge hurdle is that the price tag is pretty high with everything Westman Atelier, but definitely would recommend this. Great contour stick, great product, one of my favorite products by Westman Atelier. Check it out if you haven't already. Then a very well-known contour stick, contour wand, also great for bronzing if you're into that. This one is the contour wand by Charlotte Tilbury. This also has a really nice consistency. You can blend it out really easily. Out of these three though, this one probably I would recommend the least. So I recognize the popularity of this product and I understand why it's so popular, because there is something about it that's really easy to use and really easy to blend out. I just feel out of these three options, this one is actually the hardest one to blend out. And I can overdo it with this sponge applicator. So I don't think the product is bad. I just don't really like this applicator. I also feel like it gets pretty dirty on the side. I don't really like that. But product wise, nothing bad to say about it. I totally understand the hype of this. I keep it in my collection because I do review a lot of Charlotte Tilbury products, but as you can see, all very great bronzing options. Would recommend all three. Would recommend the other two over this one. Okay, let's talk about something that I'm probably gonna declutter. This is the Chanel Solitan de Chanel. Again, this is one of the oldest products in my collection. I've really had some good use out of this. The embossing is completely gone. And there's still so much left. You get so much value for the money. I know there's about 50 euros in bronzing. This is old. I don't even dare to recommend this to you guys anymore. One, because the formulation isn't available anymore. This is the older formulation. And two, I actually am getting kind of fearful for this bronzer. I feel like this bronzer might break me out now because it's past its expiry date. It also comes in a huge tub, which is a beacon for bacteria to grow in. It still smells fine, feels fine, and actually still works fine because I did test it out not so long ago. I didn't break out. But honestly, I feel like I have to just say bye to this just because it's just that old, you know? I mean, they have reformulated, and not even like yesterday. They've reformulated a while ago. Oh God, doesn't close anymore. I'm gonna have a hard time to say bye. This is really a product that made me fall in love with the Le Beige collection by Chanel. And I feel a little nostalgic with this product, especially because this formulation was the bomb. I can't believe they reformulated it with like coconut butter. I'm gonna have such a hard time decluttering this, but guys, we need to declutter makeup that we don't dare to use anymore. So I'm saying this for myself. A great replacement for the Solitan de Chanel, in my opinion, is this cream bronzer by Charlotte Tilbury. I got the shade medium. Beautiful shade, beautiful wear time. I really have been enjoying this bronzer a lot. This color is also just perfect for me. It blends out really nicely. It works really well on my skin, and it's probably one of my more long-lasting cream products that I have. It's a little bit more stiff than, for example, the Rare Beauty one, but it wears so nicely. I also love this big-ass mirror you get in here. It's not very travel-friendly, so that's my only, I guess, complaint, but it does look really nice, and you get a lot of product for the money that you pay for it. I really like this bronzer, would definitely recommend it. And let's move on. I have this Rare Beauty stick, bronzing stick, that I've been loving as well. This one is a little bit more red toned in my opinion than the Charlotte Tilbury one. The Charlotte Tilbury one pulls more yellow on me, which I personally prefer, but this is my favorite product by Rare Beauty. This stick, one, the fact that it comes into a stick I absolutely love because I love how convenient this is. Two, it's so emollient, it blends out like a freaking dream. Absolutely love that about this stick. The value per gram is better on the Beautiful Skin Bronzer by Charlotte Tilbury, but this to me is also more travel friendly. So I love taking this along with me if I go anywhere. It doesn't take a lot of room. I have the shade Happy Soul if I didn't say it already, and I would definitely recommend this product. Out of everything that's in the line right now, this is probably my favorite Rare Beauty product. Been loving this. keeping it. I don't know what to call this. This is sort of like a bronzer, blush, highlight in one. This is the Chantecaille Chicken Eye shade in the shade Ray. This definitely leans way more peach and is way more shimmery, but I definitely use this more as a sort of bronzing option, even though it's sort of a hybrid of all three. You see it pulls peach, but and it has that reflect like a highlighter. But I definitely use this more as, I guess, on the places on my face where I bronze. Not a cream option, by the way. This is a powder formulation. I would recommend this, but my one but with this one, you don't get a lot of products. You get 4.5 grams. And the price tag is just so high. It's also a limited edition one. And personally, I would recommend to buy things that you love that aren't limited edition, because if you love it and it is limited edition, you can't get it again. So when you pan it, it's completely gone. I think I paid about 70 euros for this, which personally I think is absolutely crazy. This definitely walks that line of like, was it worth it? It is a baked gelée formula. It's a great formula. You can wet it. That's why the embossing is completely gone, because I do use this with a wet sponge for over my eyes. I actually have nothing bad to say about this product. I think it's a beautiful product. If you were looking into it, try to get it on a sale, because the only, I guess, bad thing I have to say about this is the price. Since we're going into powders anyway, let's look at some of my powder bronzers. I'm keeping all of these. The fact that I already decluttered a bronzer is already a big deal to me. But this, a beautiful powder bronzer by Victoria Beckham Beauty, absolutely stunning. I love that you get a light and a dark color in here, making this very versatile for both wintertime and summertime. This also has, it's like a refillable packaging, so you can take the refill out, which makes it a little bit cheaper if you want to rebuy this. This is a great, what's it called? Winter color for me. This is a great summer color for me. It's a flat matte bronzer. There's no hoo-ha, no nothing with it. I just love the compact that it comes into, and the bronzer just works really well. I just love the way that this looks. Sometimes when I use a cream, I like to set it with a powder bronzer, and this is one of the powder bronzers that I use to set it with if I want to have just like a matte bronzing look. Then let's talk about another bronzer that I absolutely love, and that's just a full-blown powder bronzer that pulls matte. This is the La Bouche Rouge La Terre bronzer, and I have the shade Blonde, so the lightest shade that you can get. This bronzer is a bronzer that I recommend to people that ask me, do you have a yellow toned bronzer? This one does not pull red on me at all. And it just has a really beautiful, I guess, a kind of neutral shade. It doesn't pull too warm, but it does pull like a bronzer on me. Love this bronzer. It's probably one of my favorite things of the entire La Bouche Rouge line. This brand, if you don't know it, is like highly ethical, clean beauty, holds to a very high standard in terms of their formulation and where they source from their products. I also love this aesthetic, and you can buy all the refills separately, which are much cheaper than if you buy this compact with it. This compact is made of upsell leather, I think from Hermes. So they actually take the product that is left from the bags, and then they make these compacts with it. You can get it in multiple colors, and if you buy from the website, you can engrave these compacts and also the lipstick bullet, like the refillable packaging of it. Absolutely stunning. Check out this bronzer if you're looking for a clean beauty brand to support and you want to get into a non-red toned bronzer. This bronzer I would definitely recommend. Then this big one by Chanel. This kind of replaced my Solitan de Chanel in terms of if I ever want to do a full face of Chanel. And I have a really great bronzer that I can recommend to you guys. This bronzer is really nice if you want to use a bronzer that is a little glowy. So this is not a flat matte bronzer. There's some glow to this, which I like if you want to have that glowy base and glowy face. Beautiful formulation in my opinion. There's nothing bad I can say about this bronzer. I like the mirror in here. I like how large and charged the bronzer is. And I don't have that many glowy bronzers in my collection. So it's a Chanel bronzer. Love this brand. Love the La Beige collection. I love the size of this. It's marketed as an oversized, I think, sun-kissed powder or some stuff. But it's a bronzer to me. Would definitely recommend it. It's my 2022 favorite powder bronzer. Then last but not least is my tiny Westman Atelier Beauty Body Bronzer. Tiny but expensive. This is in the shade Coupe de Soleil. This is a very nice bronzer. It's not a full-on powder. It kind of feels, it feels buttery. I guess that's where the name comes from. I think there's some emollients in here that make it the way that it is. I don't use this very often anymore, but there was a time and place when I used this a lot, and the embossing is completely gone on my on my bronzer. I feature Westman Atelier a lot on my channel, so I feel like there's always a place for this. This is a great bronzer option. This one pulls a little bit red on me. I don't know if you can see this, but it's probably my most red tone bronzer. And when it's summertime, this looks pretty on me. But in the wintertime, it can look a little bit too, I don't know, I feel like the undertone kind of shifts on me. So I don't use this a lot in the wintertime. I do like the consistency of this, and there's a place for this in my collection. Just right now, I don't use it too often. Then let's look at my highlighters. These are all of my highlighters right now. And honestly, to me, it's still a lot because I'm not a huge... Well, I used to not be a huge highlight person. I was definitely into the craze of like a really stark highlight, and then moved my way towards like no highlight, just maybe like a glowy primer. And now look at my collection. Powder highlights to one side. Let's do liquid highlights first. First, let's talk about this beauty. I love this Pillow Talk Highlight Beauty Light Wand. It's sort of like a blush highlight in one. Again, I don't really like this too because it can get really messy, but it's probably one of my favorite liquid highlights at the moment. I just love how this wears, how this looks, how easy it is to apply, and I just love this Pillow Talk color. I like it better than, for example, the Pink Gasm. Pink Gasm to me looks a little bit too pink on me. This one looks more of a highlight to me. Oh, talking about that, I feel like I'm missing two because I wanted to talk about... Sorry, because this one by Westman Atelier is a super loaded tinted highlight. Also has a very similar effect, but this one can look a little bit more peachy. So both of these very similar in their finish, but definitely very different in their formulation. And I want to keep both. I love both of these. So beautiful. This one pulls a little bit more peach. This one pulls a little bit more neutral. This one I feel is more travel friendly. And I love this. Yeah, definitely would recommend either or. I have videos on both these, keeping both. Then let's look at this other super loaded tinted highlight by Westman Atelier. So I have two at the moment. There's four I think in total, and I would love to get all four, but clean beauty cream products, you gotta watch out with those, and I don't want to mess around with getting too many cream products because these highlighters are 80 euros, and as much as I want to have all, I also kind of want to not over consume and over purchase just because I have a channel. I want to edit myself a little bit, but this is the shade Peau de Pêche. The other one I have is in the shade Peau de Santé, and I love Peau de Pêche. Peau de Santé is a great one. I use it a lot, but definitely has a very soft highlight look. This one is sort of, again, that kind of bronzer, blush highlight in one. And this is how I got kind of into Westman Atelier. This product really catapulted me into the rabbit hole that's Westman Atelier. And this is probably still one of my most recommended products. I love this on the cheeks. I love this on the eyelids. I just love how this looks, especially this color, Peau de Pêche. It's beautiful. If I could recommend anything from Westman Atelier, I probably recommend the contour stick and this one, and maybe a blush. But you'll see my blush collection a little later. Okay, I have two highlight sticks. I have this one by Westman Atelier in the shade Parla, and this one by Victoria Beckham Beauty, also in the shade Pearl. Both of them are called Pearl. Both of them look incredibly similar. I have video on this, I think like a shorts video, and one on my Instagram. They're basically the same. You warm them up by going over them with your finger, and then when it kind of melts on your hands, then you can use this. If you want to go for a no makeup look, I would definitely recommend you looking into one of these. This one is a limited edition one that came with a lip suede, the one in burgundy. If you can still get it, I would definitely recommend getting the burgundy one. I don't feel like I need both, and I feel like I can declutter this, even though this is my only lit up highlight stick by Westman Atelier. So part of me wants to keep this because I want to show everything of the brand, and then there's also part of me that wants to declutter this because I feel like someone else could maybe use this more. So I like to do maybe a Westman Atelier ranking, and I might keep this to do my Westman Atelier ranking. Okay, so this is a maybe to me, a maybe. Keeping this one by Victoria Beckham Beauty. I have been getting a lot of, I guess, a lot of use out of this, but I'm just not the customer for these sticks. I like my highlights to either be creams or powders. Then I have three cream highlighters. I of course have a miniature version of the Hollywood Flawless Filter Highlight. I have the shade 3. I love this highlight formulation. It is very comparable to the Auric one that you saw, but that one I use more as a primer and this one I use more of a highlight. It's just really beautiful on the skin. I have this in a mini because you see my collection growing and I don't want to waste too much product. So when I do want to like wear this or show this on my videos, then at least I can still compare it for you guys. I still love this product, but because I have so much, I feel like it's sort of being ignored and neglected, but it comes out every time I want to do a comparison because I know that most of you like this so much. And I think the formulation is still solid. I feel like brands are still trying to dupe this. Then I have a Lisa Eldridge Pink Moon Highlight. What do they call this? Elevated Glow or Elevated Highlight, something like that. And I have a Rare Beauty highlights called, or Liquid Luminizer in Mesmerize. Both of these I don't wear too often. Out of the two, I actually like the finish of the Lisa Eldridge better. But the Lisa Eldridge one is a little bit too light on me right now because it is summertime. And the Rare Beauty one, I like using it in that TikTok trend where they mix up their blush with a highlighter. But I just don't use it too often. I don't know, maybe I should use it more. I feel like if I was gonna declutter anything, I would probably declutter this one, but I want to give it another chance. So I'm gonna keep both, but this one is on the chopping block, just like the Westminster Hillier one. Powder highlights. I have one I'm definitely gonna declutter. I almost forgot that this was a decluttering series. This one by Pat McGrath. This is the Skin Fetish 001 highlight. I think Incandescent Gold is the name. It's a beautiful formulation. I'm just not the customer for it. Like, there is a sort of yellow shift in here. There's also some glitter particles in here. And this is just for people that are a bit more creative than I am. I'm just not the customer for this, and I am going to declutter this. I'm not even going to swatch it. I just wanted to show you guys that it's already in its box, but it's just not for me, you know? Declutter. Then a highlight I'm not going to declutter, but it is a limited edition. I don't think it's available anymore. This is a beautiful Chantecaille highlighter with like that Desgarnay bird on there. This I love as an inner corner highlight, or when you use a blush that's more pink toned, because this one has a pink shift to it. Very beautiful. Ugh. It's not blinding. It's more like a very soft sheen, and I love the packaging. I have that entire collection by Chantecaille, and that collection altogether to me was just solid. Having this just on my vanity just makes me so happy. Then let's talk about my favorite highlighter that I'm not gonna declutter. This is the Chanel Rive de Camellia highlighter. This used to have a really beautiful embossing. That embossing is completely gone. This is more of an illuminating powder, but if you wanna have that glow, it looks so beautiful. It's a perfect color for me. I barely have touched any of my other highlighters because this is just a highlighter for me. It doesn't have too many reflex in it. I wish it wasn't limited edition. I don't think you can get this anymore, but beautiful. The other one that I absolutely love is this Le Bouge Rouge one. This one I haven't put in a compact yet. This is a very similar effect because it has a similar undertone as the one from Chanel. You see? This one I feel like is a little bit more natural looking. And I want to thank someone. Someone bought this through my affiliate code, and I want to thank that person because I'm so happy that someone actually listened to me. And I hope the person that bought this actually loves this highlighter because I really like this highlighter. I feel like it looks both natural but also still like you're wearing a highlight. And I really love this brand. This again is one of the things that I would definitely recommend from Le Bouge Rouge. That, the bronzer, and the lipstick that I bought. Those three products are absolutely solid. Then the last highlighter. This is a great highlighter formulation by Charlotte Tilbury, Pillow Talk Collection. The only two shades that I actually use are these two. So if you see the embossing is gone from this side, but still existing on that side. And that's because this one does contain some glitter particles this side. Altogether, it does make for a great pillow talk highlight. But I do like to just focus myself on these two shades. Nothing I can say about this. Beautiful compact. It's a beautiful highlight, but I feel like out of my entire collection, this one kind of now just sits in the middle. It gets used a little less. I do really like the Pillow Talk collection that she came out with. To me, this is kind of also on the chopping block. I know that Charlotte Tilbury is coming out with like a face palette that's also Pillow Talk collection, and I want to do a comparison with that highlighter with this one, and after that I might think about decluttering this one. Okay, so it's a little later in the day, but I already prepped up all of my blushes together. This is the final category of this video, and I feel like this is gonna be a long one. You know, when I started my channel, I remember telling myself I shouldn't get too many cream products, especially cream blushes, because you'll never be able to finish this. And I barely have any powder blushes. I think I nearly almost have cream blushes. But okay, you know what? Let's just get started. Let's first start with this beautiful little one that's also part of that Shantakai collection. The Shantakai blush in Akoya, also with that beautiful pearl packaging. This is absolutely a stunning blush. If you haven't tried any of these Shantakai blushes, these kind of have a sheen to them. So they're sort of a hybrid formula. They're not necessarily highlighty, but they do mimic a really beautiful sheen on the face. I think this is such a beautiful soft blush. It looks more intimidating in the pan than it looks in real life. I don't think you can get this anymore, and if you can, I would definitely still recommend getting this. I think this was definitely the underdog product of this entire collection. This was the product that I was kind of like, I don't really need to have it. I want to get the Baroque single shadow and of course the highlighter. But I'm so happy I got all three of the products, also because they look so beautiful together. But this blush was definitely a really great find, so I'm definitely keeping that. I'm gonna declutter this. So this is part of the La Pausa something collection. This is it launched somewhere earlier this year, and I thought this blush was gonna be completely it for me. I thought this was going to be like my blush for the year. This blush, what's the name? It's a limited edition blush. It's called Peche Rosé, and I love sort of peachy blushes, but it just barely shows up. You see this? That's the one. After a few uses, it completely hard panned on me. I have no idea how to fix it. I'm just so disappointed with this blush. I'm just going to declutter this. So yeah, finally something to declutter in this category. Put this in categories. So this is Rare Beauty. These are my Westman Atelier. These are my Rose Ink ones. And these are my Victoria Beckham ones. Okay, let's first start with Charlotte Tilbury. This beautiful little number is an incredibly nice blush and cheek duo, and it's just such a wearable color. This is part of the Pillow Talk collection. It's called the Lip and Cheek Glow, and this is in the shade Color Dreams. This is such a beautiful blush formula. It stays on the cheeks pretty, like, for a long time. I also feel like it's a great product also for the lips, which is not always the case with these lip and cheek blushes. And this color really blends out to a very beautiful, wearable, very Pillow Talk-esque color. Definitely enjoy this. I also feel like this doesn't get as much hype as it deserves. Definitely worth checking out, especially if you kind of like that dewy complexion. Beautiful blush. Then a single blush that I have from Chanel. I just, you know, decluttered the other one. This is part of their Freshwater, sorry, this is so dirty, but this is part of their Freshwater tint range, the Le Beige range. I got the shade Warm Pink, and look how beautiful that is. I'm definitely getting the hang of not applying too much anymore. I'm getting the hang of this, but this dries down pretty well, and it's pretty hard to get off after it has dried down. I love this blush formula. It just took a while to not use too much of it because of the type of applicator that it is. It's a pump. But once you have the right proportions, it's a really great blush for the summer. It's sweat proof and I love this color. I would love to get this in more colors, but because makeup, there's so many makeup launches, I'm gonna have to see if I have the money to invest in more of these blushes because I would love to have some more. Another singular blush that I have here, this is the Dew Wet Balm in Sweetwater by Danessa Myricks. This I should use more often. This is such a beautiful formula. And again, this is one of these pretty sort of highlights slash blush duos. There are some like highlighting properties towards this. This wears incredibly beautiful. I think color-wise, it's probably one of my favorite colors. It's a little tacky when you first apply it, but at some point in time, you just see, you know, how beautiful, like it just wears really well, wears really natural. I really like this formula and I really like this particular color. This was my first purchase of the Danessa Myricks and I truly really enjoyed it. I would definitely want to try more of the brand. Whew. Okay, you know what? I want to go into my Westman Atelier blushes because there's so many of them. And here's kind of my thing with Westman Atelier blushes. This is my favorite blush formula. My problem with having this many is most likely I won't be able to get through all of these before they actually expire. And not just expire on when the expiry date is, but expire in the sense that I feel like I won't be able to use them anymore. Part of me wants to declutter some of my least favorite colors because even though I love this formula, some colors I use more than others naturally. But another part of me feels like I need to be sort of like a YouTuber with this. And if Westman Atelier comes out with new blushes, I want to be able to compare the colors for you. So part of me also has this as sort of the comparison sake. And I'm trying to find that balance between wanting a collection that is right for me, but also having a collection that's useful for you as a viewer. So I do think I'm gonna keep them all, but keep that in mind when I look at these blushes. I also feel like this is a little excessive, and I won't recommend you doing the same as me. Just get the colors that you really want, because these blushes are pricey. I think the best thing for me to do is to swatch them all. So these are all of the blushes swatched by Westman Atelier. We have Minette, Mimi, Chouchette, Petal, Doudou, Bichette, and Popette. Popette and Minette are probably my least favorite in terms of, I don't really wear colors like this. I love the shade Popette. Do not get me wrong, I think it's a stunning shade. I'm just not the customer for a shade like this. It's so bold, it's so daring. I kind of live in this range. I think that both Mimi and Chouchette are amazing wearable colors that you can just wear with whatever eye look you do. They're just that flattering. And I can imagine that if you just move one set over, then these colors, so I think it's like Doudou and Petal, they're great if you have a darker skin tone and you want that kind of similar, easy makeup style. I think this blush formula is amazing. I never have problems with longevity with these blushes. I love how they actually wear and how well they blend out. Like there are emollients in this that are just absolutely amazing for them to blend out. Okay, then let's go into my two Victoria Beckham Beauty blushes. I have the shade Playground and I have a new shade called Fever. I absolutely love this shade. I didn't think I was gonna love it as much as I do, but oh my god, this is another blush formula that I would totally recommend. I'm really getting more into this blush formula now that I have a Fever. But this blends out to be a very beautiful kind of peach color. It looks incredibly intimidating, but you can build this color up really, really nicely. And this one is just a great everyday shade. This is shade Playground. If you're wondering like what to do as a blush, definitely Playground is the way to go. But if you want to have that sun-kissed kind of, you know, I'm a little bit burnt in the sun, but I still look fabulous look, Fever. Fever is a bold blush, but it's really getting me excited, you know? Fever is such a nice color. I demoed it on my channel, so if you want to check it out on my face, check out that video. Definitely would recommend either of these blushes. Okay, so we have Rose Ink and Rare Beauty. Rose Ink, I have one refill in Azalea. And, if we can open this one, I have barely touched this, guys. I think I've used it once for a video. And that's it. So what Fever is, so Fever to me, I thought was gonna make me look, or it was gonna accentuate my rosacea. This is completely not true because of it's sort of orange, peach toned. It makes me look so pretty, and that's, you know, not tooting my own horn, but I just think that that flatters the skin so much. For someone that's rosacea prone, to have a blush like this one, Azalea by Rose Ink, it's just way too intimidating. This pulls incredibly red on me, and I don't like the color of this. This is a popular blush in their collection, but this is a complete no-no to me. I'm going to declutter this, and I'm gonna keep the other one that I have. So the other one that I have is the shade Heliotrope, and I've clearly worn this way more. This is sort of in that same family as Chichette and Mimi. Definitely a nice blush formula, so we're just going to talk blushes and how they wear. A favorite of mine of their entire Rose Ink collection. Everything that I tried from Rose Ink, I think the blushes are definitely worth it. If you find a color that you like, definitely would recommend one of these blushes. Then I have two Rare Beauty blushes. I have the shades Nearly Neutral. I've also hit pan on this. You see this? It's kind of hollow at the bottom. It's really weird. But I have the shade Nearly Neutral in this Melting Pot, and I have the shade Belief in this Mini. Now I like both of these blush formulas. I totally see why this blush formula is so popular. I never invested in them because honestly, I didn't think I was gonna like it as much. I thought they looked not beginner friendly. And I like the idea of this type of blush that it's kind of beginner friendly. And I also like this blush color. Let's see what it looks like close to. So this blush color, it's kind of pretty close to Playground. I want to keep this around. I don't use this as much anymore, but I want to keep this around maybe to do a project pan with this and seeing if I could use this to the point where you can't use it anymore. And then I don't think will repurchase this. I think that I would like to get more minis of these. Minis are great for my collection because I don't want to be wasteful, but I do want to test out a lot of different products, and I like that Rare Beauty gives you the option of trying to get some minis out there. I really like this blush formula. I like using this together with the concealer to do that like little TikTok trick. Very beautiful. I also surprisingly like Believe much better than I thought I was gonna like it because it is that kind of mauve-y color. And I have a few mauve-y colors in my collection, but I never actually gravitate towards these colors because I like these type of colors. So this is closer to Doo Doo, but nevertheless, I actually really like, I think it's because of the formulation and so easy to work with. These minis also have like a tiny doe foot, which makes it so easy to apply because it's hard to over apply when you do this tiny of a doe foot. Anyway, I am going to keep it, and I'm going to show you what I'm decluttering and what I'm keeping. So this is what I'm going to declutter. I'm going to declutter a highlighter, 2 blushes, 5 foundations. This is a powder and a bronzer. And this is what I'm keeping. So these are my Westman Atelier stuff and some of my blushes. This is my Shansakai collection that I want to keep together just because aesthetics. My bronzers are and highlighters that are powders are all together. These are some of my powders and highlighters as well. I should probably rearrange this, but I like everything in a circle together. I don't know, I'm weird like that. All my Westman Atelier. These are some liquid highlighters here and some cream blushes. Maybe like this? I don't know. I haven't figured it out yet how I want to do this, but these are my highlighters put together. Yeah, I think that this is all right for one drawer. I think it looks pretty good. Personally, I didn't think I was going to declutter anything, so I already think that this is a pretty big deal to declutter this much of my collection. I'm going to try and keep my collection to a minimum, to these Alex 5 drawers, as long as I can. And I'm feeling good about this declutter. I want to thank you guys all so much for watching, and I hope you guys like this video. If you do, if you want to see more declutters in the future, please make sure to press that like button so I know what you guys want to see on my channel. I asked my subscribers what they wanted to see as a thank you to you guys for sticking with me through this first year on YouTube. It's been a really fun ride, and I want to just show my appreciation and thanks. This is only part 2. I hope it's not going to be as long as part 1, because part 1 was like an hour-long video. I do want to try to condense these, but at the same time, I do want to showcase some of the colors. Hence, I do some swatches, because that's what I personally want to see. Yeah, like this video. If you liked anything about this video, comment down below. If you just want to, you know, talk makeup with me. I know that for some of you, this is your favorite category. My favorite category is palettes, which is going to be my part 3 video. I have a lot of palettes to go through. I review palettes more, I think, than anything else. So the palette one, definitely check out that one. I hope to get it out to you as soon as possible. Thank you guys all so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys the next time. Bye!